Hello everyone, thanks for stopping by Big Gun 81. My name is Rick. I hope you're all doing well today. Today we're going to be talking about the original ATI Omni and comparing it to the new ATI Omni Hybrid. The ATI Omni is no longer made anymore. Originally it was also made in New York, and now the new one is made down in South Carolina. But what I'm also really excited about, something related here, is their polymer upper receiver here. Maybe you can see the front takedown pin area. This takedown lug is actually metal, and the threads are also metal as well. So it has a metal insert, and the rest of it is all polymer. Very interesting. I don't know what the exact weight is on this piece, but it feels very light, so that's very cool. So first off, for those of you who may have been watching the channel for some time, you may have seen a couple of videos on the ATI Omni. The original one. This was actually the first rifle that I built. So, needless to say, I do like this, the original Omni. And for those of you who have watched the videos, I now have converted it over to a dedicated 22. I don't really want to part with it because it was the first rifle that I built, really. Because ATI now gives you an option, by the way, reason why I say part with it, to go ahead and swap this out for the new upgraded version. One of the issues they had with the original one was cracking around the rear takedown pin area, because there's no metal insert in this one at all, and this one does have one. That's one of the changes we're going to kind of show you up close here in just a moment. Okay, so let's talk about some of the differences here between the new ATI Omni Hybrid and the original ATI Omni, as you can see behind this one. First off, what makes it the hybrid is the metal insert here. So you can see the threads are nice. That was one big thing with the original ATI Omni. The threads were kind of loose. You kind of worried about stripping out the threads, putting the buffer tube in, just because the threads were plastic or polymer. This insert does go at least maybe just a little bit past the rear takedown pin area, and does also show the serial number on that metal piece as well, which is very nice. The styling differences. The updated graphics or logo on the front here. Also the flared out magwell, which is nice. It's functional. The original one didn't have much of a flaring to it, maybe slightly more than regular forged lower receiver, but it's very much similar in that respect. As you may have noticed, the trigger guard here that's molded in. The original one's molded also, but it's dropped down, more of a tactical type trigger guard, so you can wear gloves and things like that with it if you'd like. The original one was just mainly a flat looking trigger guard, again molded into it. What else we got? One of the things that they changed on this as well, and you notice how I have anti-rotation pins. I'll kind of show you that again down here for the hammer and trigger there. My thought was, with the polymer receiver, if those trigger pins rotate at all or move around at all, it's going to wear the polymer quicker than it would maybe the aluminum, possibly. So one of the things that they changed, and I'm not sure if I'm real keen on this just yet, is they actually now have these little screws, little screw covers that kind of thread into the receiver here, where the hammer and trigger pins are on both sides, and lock that pin or both those pins in place from walking left and right on the receiver. Now, I don't know that that's going to really help much with the rotation of them. That's where the part where I'm not sure that I like it a whole lot. If for some reason that the pins kind of bind up on the hammer or trigger, they're going to be rotating and wearing in this polymer as well, and that can cause you all types of functional issues that you don't want with your trigger assembly. That's my thought. Now, I don't know if that's going to work that way or not. That's just kind of something I'm thinking as I'm looking at it and kind of going over the overview of it and so forth. Now, one thing they came out with, which I kind of mentioned earlier, was the upper receiver. Grab that. I'll show you the close-up of this. Again, kind of like how the rear of the receiver on the Omni Hybrid has a metal insert. They use a metal insert towards the front of the upper receiver, which makes sense because I would definitely want metal threads for my barrel nut. And I like that the front takedown pin lug is also metal as well. Again, this is very lightweight. This upper receiver is very stylish. They made some, I don't know if you want to call it like serrations in the mold. So hollowed out points on the shell deflector here, which kind of makes sense to help reduce the overall weight. It's very stylish. Maybe flip it around here and kind of show you the other side. With the serrations and indents and all that. It looks very cool. So The nice thing about this upper receiver is that it does accept a dust cover. So there is the pin location here, for running the dust cover pin and everything, and it will run a dust pin, and it is also set up for running forward assist. I kind of would think that with a sport style upper like this, the forward assist isn't really necessary to have, and that's just my thought, but it's something nice, I guess, to have the option of at the same time. But it sits very stiff. It fits very stiff into the receiver. If you notice too, like the front takedown pin kind of sticks in there, or takedown pin lug sticks in there. You can see maybe like a little bit where the material is kind of like scuffed a little bit, just from the fit. But it's probably better to have a nice tight fit than a loose one. So my goal with this is to test it out next. I'll update you guys in our video with it. I'm thinking that I might possibly run my bump fire system stock here on it a little bit and kind of really give it some testing to see if there's any issues with the buffer tower back here. If there's any problems. I don't think there will be. Some of ATI's videos, they actually do a nice test with I think they used the ATI OMNI hybrid lower as well in the test, but they actually were testing out this polymer upper on full auto, and that thing held up, and I was pretty impressed with that video. So I imagine that the upgrades here on the way that they do their process of making this polymer receiver have really improved the reliability of it. I'm excited to use it. I think it's pretty cool. Again, polymer receivers, there's a big debate about them. The biggest one is, if it's made originally out of metal, it should be kept as a metal part, that it wasn't designed around being a polymer piece, as this one is. But there's a lot of changes in technology, and we have to be open to that as well. Now, having said that, I don't know that I would trust this as a battle rifle, where it really has to be put through its paces and slammed around on the ground and stuff, or whatever, or driven over by vehicles or whatnot. In other words, I don't know that I would trust it to that extent. But for plinking and going to the range, maybe even for competition use, I don't see a big problem with using a polymer receiver at this point. Especially if this one holds up pretty well to some fair amount of abuse. I think it would be alright to use. So anyhow, that's basically my thoughts on it at this point. We're going to go ahead and build this lower up and take it out and give it some testing. So stay tuned for some more videos. Thanks for watching, and have fun shooting.